Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. On this auspicious occasion of Vijaya Dashami, after 9 days and nights of celebration, invoking the blessings of the Divine Mother in her 3 magnificent forms as Durga, the powerful, Lakshmi, the benevolent, and Saraswati, the wise. It is only with these 3 can we have victory over the lusty, selfish, 10-headed, extroverted ego. Spiritual realization, the great grand victory, happens when this ego is vanquished. And it cannot be without the love, the benevolence, the might and power, and the wisdom that we get from the Divine Mother, the Shakti, the very source of all power in creation. It is not a matter of wonder that in the land of Bharat, and certainly round the world, that there are many, many women seekers as well as women saints and women of abidance in knowledge and enlightened. India has been a land from time immemorial, has glorified, acclaimed these great women saints. Whether they were the numerous rishikas in the Veda, the various devotees and saints glorified in the Purana as well as in the Itihasa, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Indian culture, Bharatiya culture, is full of such great saints and sages. As far as the spiritual enlightenment is concerned, the Atma, the self of each and every one, is infinite, and it is beyond all distinctions, differences such as caste, creed, and even gender. It is no matter of surprise that this land of Bharat has such illustrious women saints. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, when he is indicating to Arjuna where all or where can he be found, where in his vibhutis, in his manifestation, he can be discovered, glimpsed, and his full glory been seen. Having described many such vibhutis, Bhagwan enumerates that amongst all the virtues that are required for spiritual enlightenment, as well as to live a noble life, a glorious life of greatness in this world, where the splendor of Bhagwan can be visible. In the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna enumerates the 7 feminine virtues. Feminine because even in the language, Sanskrit language, these virtues are in the feminine gender. And why Bhagwan says that amongst the woman qualities, I am these virtues, because they are naturally found in every woman of the world. And therefore, the first divinity that we see in our life is in our mother. Where these qualities that Sri Krishna mentions, such as Kirti, Shri, Vak, and he says Narina, amongst the women, Smriti, Meda, Dhriti, Kshama. He enumerates these 7 feminine qualities, which not only empowers us, but makes us capable for enlightenment, and most of all, sainthood. Sainthood is not something that is very unique to some individuals. The description of a sant, as explained by our great saints, is one who is full of love, compassion, kindness, ever giving, and one who cannot bear the sorrows of anyone. Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Sant hriday navneet samana, kaha kabhin par kaha na jana, nij dukh dah dravai navneeta, par dukh dravai sant supunita. He says that great poets have sung the glories of saints and said that they are ones whose hearts are soft as the freshly churned butter. But he says that that is not a proper description of the hearts of saints. He says that butter melts when heat is applied to it, even just your touch. But the hearts of the saints are so komal, so soft, that they melt seeing the sorrows of the people. This is the greatness of saints and sages. And such virtues are not only seen in some saints of the world, but such saints, many of us will discover, are there with such virtues in our own homes as the women in our homes, in our lives, whether they are our mother, whether our sister, whether your daughters, your wives, even though you may make jokes on them, but what can many husbands do without their wives' support, love, and sometimes that which excels any intelligence is what the world today is exclaiming as emotional intelligence. Could be a friend a colleague. But these virtues that Sri Krishna mentions, that are to be found in every saint, is found naturally in woman. And how is it that divinity would not manifest in woman, since these are the natural qualities in which Bhagwan is seen, divinity is seen, Bhagwan manifests, and where enlightenment takes place. First and foremost, Bhagwan says, Kirti, fame. Most people think fame means doing something grand, having some great positions, getting a lot of acclaim in this world. But who in our life is remembered the most? At times of extreme joy as well as at times of distress. Each one in this world first will remember their mother or some woman in their life whose love, whose support, whose encouragement, whose comfort has meant so much for us. And therefore, Bhagwan says, one who is famous. Famous does not mean, again, medals or prizes given to someone. Someone who is most treasured with gratitude in our hearts. And one who has given so much of themselves. And how naturally this comes to woman. No saint, no person of realization can gain that enlightenment until and unless through their actions of greatness, of giving, of sharing, for which we remain ever indebted in our life. Until and unless that large-heartedness is there in someone, saintliness, godliness cannot manifest in such a person's life. And in woman, this is natural. It is not acquired. Does not require any egoistic praise. For that which is natural to them gives them that humility which does not come out of pretendence, does not come out of effort. Because in every effort, there is some ego involved. And this 10-headed ego ends when there is such fame and such glory in the individual. And therefore, she is also Shri. Every woman in our country is considered to be Shri, the very wealth, the very treasure of the house. Whom do you generally call precious? Not sons, daughters, don't you? Yes, some people worry because the unfortunate thing of spending and giving away. But really speaking, who brings the greatest merits to the father is the daughter of the house. She is the true wealth. And Shri also means glory, glorious. And who is glorious? One who brings delight to us. The one who shares and gives effortlessly. In giving, there is no ego because it's so natural for her. And that's so natural in every woman in our life. And therefore, it is of no surprise that we have so many women saints, sages in the world, in fact, in our land of Bharat. Very often in the world, we hear only of men saints. But in each of our districts, there has been many such saints, women saints, well recognized also. And people know of them. Some whose literature is available, their poems and their heart pourings are there, their words of wisdom and enlightenment are there, are definitely more known and popular. They are there in every language of our country, every state of our country. And I'm so delighted that our Brahmacharinis, Swaminis, and many housewives have worked to bring out the works of such women saints of our land of Bharat. They themselves are illustrious in their own way, and bringing out such a book for the world to encourage, to give confidence that every seeker, male or female, have to have these wondrous qualities that are found naturally in women. Kirti, Shri, Vak. In India, Vak Devi is none other than Saraswati, because language, words come naturally to women. And not because they are talkative, but because they cannot keep anything suppressed in their heart. They have to express it. And therefore, truth also has to be expressed. And as speech, communication is possible only through speech. Even teaching is possible only through speech. Even children, girls learn faster than boys to speak as children. And to say what is in the heart openly is possible only in the woman. And speech is the expression of our hearts. And those who can express themselves without hiding, without suppressing, without holding back, and therefore in our culture, the scriptures or Shruti has been depicted as Uma in the Upanishads. Again, the very scriptures that give us knowledge is in the form of a woman. Smriti, remembrance, memory. Medha, the capacity to understand and remember and apply at the right period of time. That alertness, and we know that important things men can forget. But the very care and love of the woman, mother, that she can never forget what is required for her children. Medha, that intelligence, that emotional intelligence that we just spoke about, that comes from a heart that is full of love and care. Dhriti, that perseverance, that even during times of crisis, when the world thinks that something is impossible, that heart of a woman to protect her children, to protect the people whom she loves in her life, whether it is Savitri for her husband or whether it is a mother for her child, or whether it is a friend, they will never give up till they have achieved what is to be achieved. That perseverance, that dhriti, that fortitude to fight against all circumstances, to protect, to guide, to nourish the people she loves. And what to talk about? Forgiveness. Life, we can never move ahead without forgiveness. And who can't understand the forgiveness of Mother Earth? And that's why we call her Mother. And who cannot forget that our mothers, we don't even have to tell her sorry. And when we say sorry, she doesn't even remember for what we said sorry. Are not all these signs of saintlyhood? Not only in the highly acclaimed saints and sages of the world, whether men or women, but many such unacclaimed saints and sages, both in men and women, and especially in women, we might find in our own homes. Whether they were enlightened or not is not something that we can judge. All the signs of saintlyhood, love, knowledge, wisdom, and most of all, devotion. I have seen that in my own grandmother. I'm sure you require no other evidence of women saints, and the many that in the history pages have got lost or even not heard of. But such women saints we can find in our mother, in our grandmothers, and the many women that are there in our life. And therefore, what to talk about these saints that are enlisted in this book, which I have the privilege of presenting to the world, of the great work that our Brahmacharinis and Swaminis have done. That essence of womanhood, that essence of saintliness, what can be said about it? To think, who does Lord Shiva place on his head? Whose name does Krishna repeat all the time? For whom did that Ramchandra, who in midst of any tragedies did not shed a tear, for whom did Ramchandra ji shed tears for? All of them were women. Ganga, and not just Radha, the gopis. For only Sita, Ramchandra ji shed tears. Whom even Bhagwan keeps at the highest. Whose devotion Bhagwan only praise. Saints and sages have praised. For without that ananya bhakti, that single-pointed devotion, that devotion where with just one and only one in their mind, they seek their beloved. And stop not like the Ganga. When there are pebbles, she skips. Where there are rocks, she jumps. Where there are rocks, she roars. And where there is a mountain on the path, she just giggles her way around. But she stops not till she reaches the infinite ocean. That dhriti, that single-pointedness, that Ananya Bhakti, that which is found so naturally in the saints that we hear of, but how much do we find in the women saints? That dedication of the gopis, whether they were in their family life, that daring of Mirabai, that lok laaj taji mira nachire, pag gungru band mira nachire. Log kahe mira bhai bhavri, saas kahe kul nasire, par gungru band mira nachire. That daringness that is required to walk this razor edge path, that neither for the men nor for the women did the people of the world make it easy. How much more difficulty was there for these women saints. But in their supreme, single-pointed, unbroken remembrance of the Supreme, their love, their kindness, their daring, they achieved, many of them. And we know that even now many are achieving and many shall. On this auspicious occasion of Vijaya Dashami, I now release. And as you can see, pearls on their own of the many tears that these mothers have shed for all of us. Those pearls are being scattered to enrich the world. The woman seeker, 18 Devis and their journey to enlightenment.
Explore the lives of 18 Devis and their journey to enlightenment. From Vedic rishikas to wandering ascetics, from visionary composers to dharmic householders, from ardent devotees to sublime renunciates. From all parts of Bharat, inspiring life stories, deep reflections, subtle contemplations, and guaranteed transformation. Get your copy on Vijaya Dashami and walk the path of no return.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.